can hold a class for quite long without having such problems. So that's why it's been very popular. And you can also see that there are a few things that you can do that are notably very useful, like sharing screen over here, video recording. You can control your participants. You can also find it on all the devices. So you can see you've got a phone can use, tablet can use, computer can use, laptop can use. And the meeting control, for example, right, is like, for example, now I'm the host. I can actually control everyone's mic here so that I can have a more peaceful class. So these are some things that other apps currently do not have, but Zoom has. There's the video recording function, which is very important if you want to record your class. And share screen is like what I'm doing now to you. Sharing you actually what I'm seeing. That's what you are seeing now, which is actually my screen. Next, just to take note, right? For a free account, you have only a 40-minute limit when you have 3 or more participants. Which means if you teach 3 students, that's 4 people in the class, right? The class will actually end within about 30 minutes to 40 minutes. Yeah, but recently I think some people will notice that if you do maybe 2 to 3 people call, it may even last longer than that because Zoom is also trying to be more relaxed about it. So, but you just need to take note about this rule. Lastly, if you do one-to-one tuition style, you can actually do unlimited time, which is one of the best things. So if you happen to do more one-to-one kind of sessions, this will be very useful because you can just use the free account. But I'm not sure if you have known how much the price accounts are. I'm just going to show you very quickly that your screen is bigger, it's easier to operate, and it actually has a lot more functions that you can control. So that's why I advise strongly that if you want to do your own teaching, try to use your computer instead of your phone or tablet. And in computer, you can actually do this function that is video recording very, very easily, which is quite an important part if you want to do it. Phone is still okay, but only problem is you have to download the app. And you'll notice that if you ever use the phone, which later I will actually demonstrate to you, there are certain functions like if now you're doing the chatting, if you're on the phone, when you chat, you cannot see the video. But you can see that when you're on the computer, when you chat, you can still see the video at the same time. So that is one of the things that phone cannot do. And if you're using a free account, right, you actually cannot do video recording on phone. But a free account can still record when you're using a computer. So that's one important point that you should know. Yeah, so my advice would be computer or devices. Next, we're going to jump into the part where we're going to look at the Zoom interface. The Zoom interface. So in the Zoom interface, I think most of you will have seen the computer one, which is the left side one, where you see these 4 big buttons, the orange one and the 3 blue at the bottom right. If you are using the phone, you will notice that actually the 4 buttons are still there, but you will see they are arranged in a line, this horizontal line. Okay, let me see. There's one. Let's show that. Will it be better to have slides on full screen rather than having what's in the background? It's important now. Share screen is the least important one here because it's just for sharing screen. But what is important is actually doing a new meeting, to schedule a meeting, and also to join the meeting. I think all of you will have been familiar with the join one if you have tried before. So this one is what the participants need to do. But for us as the host, usually we will touch new meeting and also schedule meeting. Yeah. Before I continue on that, I just want to open my panel here. Can you all see my panel? This one. I open my Zoom panel. Cannot see, right? Okay. So in the middle of this, right, I may do a few screenshots just to show you. So there's a meetings, there's a context also. So actually there are a few extra buttons besides these 4 big ones. There's also another one that is very important. It's actually on the right side here. It's our settings. Okay, so these are the few controls that are pretty crucial in your using of the Zoom. Yeah, I'm just going to show you that if you are using your phone, right, you also will see it. So I'm just going to jump here. On the phone, right, you also will see the same thing. The only difference is there's no home for phone. Phone is actually called Meet and Chat. And there's also a Meetings button there's also a context button, but you also will see a settings button. So there are some slight differences, but don't worry about that. Later I will touch on more when we continue in the learning. Yeah. So the first one actually I'm going to demonstrate to you is actually this one called schedule meeting. This one, schedule meeting. Yeah. So what's going to happen now is that I'm going to click onto this button that you see here, this schedule button. You won't be able to see it because I'm actually teaching Zoom on Zoom. So some things you cannot see because I'm already in Zoom. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to click that button. And do you see a panel popping up now? I think all of you should see it, right? Yeah, so when you want to schedule a meeting, the reason is because, for example, let's say you want to say, next Monday, I'm going to start a class. And I want to schedule this timing so that students can join in. And that's why we click the button schedule meeting. I'm going to take you through quickly the process of actually how to fill in this form. So you can actually set up your own meeting yourself. Yeah. So you can see that this meeting form is like quite a lot of details, right? So we're going to go step by step. The first one you can see on top here is actually this one called topic. So topic will be what class you are teaching. So my class is a bit more unique. My class is usually called so this is my topic. I think most of you don't agree, but it's fine. I think I agree anyway. Yeah. So this is my class topic. The next one you can see actually there's a start button here. There's a start. This blank here is a calendar. So this one is actually for you to choose when you want your class start. So I click into May 26, right? I can then go and choose, let's say, June the 1st. So 1st of June, I will have my class. Yeah. So this is quite simple. It's just a calendar for you to choose. On the right side is the timing, which is the time. So you can see there's an AM there, right? If you tap onto the AM, you can actually toggle the arrow to choose AM or PM, like this. And for the time also, you can adjust like this. So I can choose, let's say, my class to be at 3 a.m. It is 3 a.m. I hope you all will come. So 3 a.m. Next one, you can see the duration part is to set how long your class is. But there's one problem, because we are all free account, you cannot exceed 30 minutes. So if I select 45, you see there's a pop-up below here. It says, sorry, please pay me money if you want to teach longer. So no choice, I will choose 30 minutes for now. Yeah, so this is just for you to understand. Bottom right here, you can see there's a time zone, right? So it's set to Singapore now, which is correct. There's a button called a recurring meeting. That actually allows you to repeat this class if you want, but it's not necessary for now, so you don't have to take it. The next one is the important one, which is called meeting ID. I think most of you will have heard of meeting ID, like when you go for any of the Zoom class. So meeting ID consists of 10 numbers. 10 numbers. And actually, when you sign up a Zoom account, you also have your own personal meeting ID. So you can see on the right side of this number here that says 766-890-9227, right? This is my personal one, which is like my IC like that. So if you ever have this number, you can suddenly jump into my classroom because you have my meeting ID. So you can actually have two options. One, you can select for personal meeting ID. The good thing about this is that when you share with your students, right, they just need to remember these 10 numbers. They don't have to go and find another number already, which is convenient. But the problem, you remember there's some security thing, right? So the problem will be maybe some stranger get the number, then they can jump into your class accidentally or suddenly. So you don't want that to happen. For me, I will choose this one called generate automatically. What happens is every single meeting that you conduct will have a new number that is not this, totally new one. The hassle is you have to keep repeating and sending your students the number again and again. So it's a bit more troublesome. Okay? So this one, I will advise to do generate automatically. The next one you can see is called password. Password, I think, quite important. So I will choose that you choose to have password, although it's an option for you. But here, right, the password, you can type your own one if you want to. Just remember to add in all these details. You must have 6 characters, must have alphabet, must have number, must have special character. So this one, you can type your own if you want. But now, I'm not going to type. So just to show you, you can see with all the guidelines here written. Yeah. The next one you will see here is actually called video. there's a host and there's a participant, and you can see there's an on-off button. Actually, what it all means is that if you choose to on the host button, right, the video part, what will happen is that when the host enters the class or enter the meeting, your camera will automatically be switched on. So if let's say you sometimes not ready, you don't want to show face first, you should choose off so that in case they see something else in your house or something like this. Same for the participants, it is good that if you off it first, so that the participant don't come in suddenly and see, hey, why everyone can see me, all that kind of thing. So it's a good way to hide off any unsightly stuff for a short while before they join in. Okay, I think there's a question here. Personal ID can off for password? Yes, can. Deborah, yes, you can still do password for personal ID also. Yeah, so you see, if I click personal ID, you see, there's still a password there. That's still available. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether it's automatic generated one or personal ID, both will actually show you the password. Yes, password is very important because you don't want people to jump into the call suddenly. Okay, the next one you can see here is actually this thing called audio. Well, how to change the password? I think it will be automatically generated for the password to change all the time. So I think when you do the scheduling, the password will always change per class. If you're talking about the recurring meeting. Okay. Next one here you see is this thing called audio. You can see there's telephone, computer audio, like a bit funny, right? What computer audio just means is using your computer or your phone's audio to listen into the meeting. You ask, why is there a telephone option? That's because Zoom is actually in the US, and what happens is, sometimes if your internet is bad and you want to join the call, in the US they actually have a phone number that you can call to that allows you to actually listen into the meeting. But unfortunately, this service I don't think is happening in Singapore, unless you are willing to pay international call, which I'm not rich enough. And Singapore's internet usually is quite stable. So I would say that actually you can just select computer audio and that's good enough. There's no need for you to do telephone and computer. So you can choose this. Okay. The next one is actually called calendar. You can see there's Outlook and there's Google Calendar and other calendars, right? This is actually to allow you to actually input this schedule straight into your Google Calendar or your Outlook Calendar. So it's a convenience for you, so that it's a reminder that you have a class that day. So this is quite a good add-on that they have here. Yeah. The first one is actually called Enable Waiting Room. It's a very, very important one. So remember, for any class you host, make sure that Enable Waiting Room is always switched on. Okay, that's the first one. Second one, you see there's this thing called Enable Join Before Host. I would advise you to never switch this on, because when you have this on, right, it all means that the meeting time, let's say you set it at 1:30 p.m. and some students come earlier than you, they are allowed to join in first. Because you are the teacher, right, it's best that you are the first one inside the room or inside the meeting rather than other students. So I would say it's best not to switch this on. The third one you can switch on, which I think is going to be very useful, is actually this thing called mute participants upon entry, which is also very important, because you'll know that I think just now when all of you came in, some of you will realize that some students' position may be a bit noisy. So if let's say you get all these students coming in with their microphone on, right, it may actually disrupt your audio immediately. So to actually safeguard on that, you can actually keep them on mute when they enter first, then get them to unmute later, which is maybe a better choice. Okay. The last second one you can see here, it says only authenticated users can join, sign in to Zoom. So what this actually means, right, is only students who have an account with Zoom can join your class. That is quite important, because if you don't realize, right, that Zoom is actually quite open. You actually don't even need to sign in to enter a person's class. All you need is just the meeting ID and password. But if there is this rule here, the user or the student will be forced to actually sign in an account that or sign up an account, and it's better because that one has more verification, so there's less likely of some stranger coming in. So I advise that you should do this. But of course, if your students are not very internet savvy or digital savvy, this may be more troublesome for them because they have to go and do the sign-in process and all that. So you can consider depending on your student level. If your students are actually pretty good, I would say that this is a better and safer option. Okay. Lastly, it's also not very important, but you can consider is automatically recording your meeting on the computer. If you tap this on, right, every time you conduct a class, there will be a copy of your recording saved in your computer automatically. So that may be good if, let's say, you have to backtrack or search for certain teachings that you had before. That's one way of collecting all your past class experiences. Okay? So I've gone through quite a bit from top to toe. You can see, suddenly my browser pops up, right? It's because it's trying to link to my calendar on Google. So this is my Google Mail. Just going to click in. And you can see it asks for permission. You just press allow. And you can see straight away, right, it sets up a whole calendar detail for me. Including the name of my class, the link, the password, the meeting ID, everything set there. So I just need to press save. And you can see what happens here is that immediately, if you see my June 1st, right, I've got a session here already. Meet Anson PH already. Yay. Very happy. Yeah? So then the next question you have, right, is I have scheduled the meeting. Wow, thank you, Barbara. You're very supportive. So I've got the meeting already, but I need to invite my students, right? So how do I invite my students? So this is where I'm going to jump to back to my main screen. Just going to show you this one. I think you all cannot see, so I'm going to do a quick print screen for you. In a second. So what I'm going to do now is that I'll be coming back to this page here, which is our this you ask. So where is the schedule found? Where can I see it? The place to find it, right, is actually here. Good here. This one called the this one called the meetings here. This one. Okay. So this is where you can actually find your meetings or all your schedule. So that's what I'm going to press now. You will not be able to see it because we are on Zoom call, so it's a bit of a problematic. But I'm going to just do a quick screen grab here, and you can see it. How it looks like, right, is this. So when I tap on this meetings button, it will take you to a different screen here. As you can see on the left side, you will see your personal ID, meeting ID. But on the right side, right, it actually shows you the class or the meeting that you have scheduled. Okay? And you'll notice that it says the name of the class, it's got the timing, it's got the meeting ID. And below, right, you will see actually 4 buttons here. There's a start button, but you cannot press now because it's not next week yet, it's not next Monday, so you cannot start yet. The next one you can see is edit. You can edit the details of this meeting if you need to, and it will take you back to the form. If you want to change any details, for example, change the name of the title of the class, or the timing of the class, and all that. Okay. The other one you can see is called delete, which is quite simple. If you want to cancel the class, you can just press the button delete. But actually, you'll notice there's one more button there. It's actually called what? Copy invitation. Copy invitation. So if let's say you want to share this class now with your students, you can actually use this method called copy invitation, which I'm going to click now. So once you click copy invitation, it will copy a set of details like the meeting ID, the password, the link, and everything that you can then share with your students. Of course, there are a few methods to share. You can share via email, you can share via WhatsApp, or you can share via SMS also if you want. You use a computer. The button is also the same. You can see the schedule button. I'm just going to add into the schedule button. And you can see the details or all the things that you fill in is about the same. Here you can type onto the top right and change the name of the meeting. I'm just going to give another name for this class. And you can see there's a start button also. Same thing. So actually it's quite straightforward. You can always choose the dates. Then there's the duration, which currently now you can stick to 30 minutes. Time zone is the same. If you want to repeat, you can choose. For now, you can see my calendar here is stuck to iCalendar because I'm using the iPhone now. That's the only reason. Yeah, because if you're using an Android one, most likely you'll link to your Google Calendar. Below here, you can see my meeting ID. And you can see there's an on-off button. So different from the computer, right? If you want to use your personal meeting ID, you have to switch this on. But if you don't want to use your personal meeting ID, you just need to switch it off. Okay? And below here, you can see the password, right, is already given. So you can choose to change the password if you want to. But there will definitely be a password if you are going to do a scheduling on phone. So there's a password here. I'm not going to change that password here. You can see below, same thing, the meeting options also have the host video on or not, or the participant video on. It's also an on-off switch. So if you on it, means your video will be on when you enter the class. If you off it, then the class will not be able to see your face immediately. Okay? And there's also this one called the enable waiting mode, which I mentioned just now. Make sure that it's switched on. Okay? And lastly, you can see there's a few more advanced options, which is those things that are shared with you earlier, like allow join before host, which no, I don't want to allow that. Automatically record meeting. For phone, because now I'm using phone, it's not going to work. So this is not going to happen actually. Okay, so you can see the form is pretty much the same, just that it's in the phone format. The last thing you need to do is just go to the top right, just tap the done button, and you can see it starts to schedule the meeting for me. So here it's just showing all the details, and I just need to tap the add on the top right, and you can see it's scheduled. I mean, you have the same question, where did the schedule go, correct? It is always back at the meeting. So remember, any schedule that you have done, they will always be listed in the meetings option. So where the meetings option is for the phone, right, is at the bottom of the phone screen. So you can see me and chat. There's the meetings button. Just tap it, and it will take you to the meeting schedule here. See, May 31st, meet PA trainer over here. After that, you just need to tap into that. You can see you will list down all the details of this particular meeting. How do you actually share this meeting details or invite your students, right? Is by tapping the button called Add Invitees here. So I'm just going to tap the button Add Invitees. You will see a menu pop up. There are a few options. You can send message, you can send email. What I like to do is I like to do the copy clipboard method, which is to copy the information. And where do I paste? I will go to my WhatsApp to paste. So I'll just jump to my WhatsApp now. And I'll group. And then I will paste it. Like this. So now I have sent you a second invitation on our group chat. One is via my computer. One is actually through my phone. Yeah, so if you really are very interested in meeting a very handsome trainer, please let me know. I will be there for you. 3 a.m. I'll be there. I was like, oh, come and see me. So if you're interested, I can join. Yeah. So this is a quick demonstration. The new meeting button is a bit different from the schedule. The new meeting is basically start now, not like straight away. So it's a bit different from your schedule. Schedule, you still have a timing before you reach the start of the meeting. But this is like, I'm just going to start now. But because I'm already in a meeting with you, I cannot show you the example. What I'm going to do here, right, is I'm going to be using my phone as the example for you. So in fact, I actually have two phones. And what I'm going to do here is that treat the smaller phone here as the participant. Okay, it's the participant. Then this iPhone here is the host. So I'm going to show you how the host does it and how the participant joins the call. Okay. So first, right, I'm going to start with going into my Zoom first, which is my iPhone Zoom. So you can see we always start off with the 4 big buttons on top, which is the orange one and then the 3 blue. I'm now going to tap onto a new meeting, start a meeting. As you can see here, once you tap start a meeting, you will see two very simple questions they have. Do you want to on your video, which is the first one, and the second one is, do you want to use your personal meeting ID? So if let's say you don't want to use your personal meeting ID and you don't want to on your video immediately, you can just press start a meeting. And straight away, right, we will jump into the meeting. You see it's connecting. And you can see that if you're using phone, they will always ask you this question. Do you want to call using internet audio? Just tap yes. Tap that one. Or if you're using Android, it will be called call using device audio. Okay. You can see that the buttons at the bottom are pretty similar to the computer also. There's always a mute button on the bottom left. There's also a start video button on the bottom left. I'm going to press the mute first, just for this session, so that it's not less noisy. The other one is the start video, which is very simple. If I tap the start video, you will on my video, and now you can see me. Hello! So you can see me over there on the host. Yeah, so this is the host view now. You'll notice that the screen, right, sometimes the buttons will disappear because Zoom is trying to make your viewing experience better. So that's why those buttons will hide. If you want to find those buttons back very easy, just use your finger and tap the screen once, and all the controls will come back. You can just take note on that. Because some students will panic, hey, cannot find. But don't you just tap, it will come up. Okay. What you will notice is on the top here, there's a specific number, right? 790-0977-4905, right? This is the current meeting ID for this particular meeting. Yeah, just take note. Wait, before that, I'm just going to do a very quick thing first. I'm going to hide off my background screen so you can see actually my phone is actually here. Here. Hello. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Okay, just to let you see in perspective, I'm actually using a phone here. Yeah. The next one you'll notice is actually, if you look very carefully below the meeting ID, there's actually a password number. Very small. Your eyes probably cannot even see. I cannot even see myself even up here. So just to take note, that's where the information is. Okay. But the question now is that now you're alone in this call, right? And you want to get your students to come in. How do you do that? All you do, right, is you tap the screen once first, look for the bottom, and look for this thing called participant. And you tap into participant. When you tap into participant, it will show you a separate screen like this. You'll notice that there's only yourself, because of course this you only started the call yourself. What you'll notice that at the bottom left, there's a button called invite. You see a button called invite? Just going to tap that button. And you see there's a menu that appears that will ask what you want to do. So you can send email, send SMS, you can invite contact. The other one is you can just do a copy URL, which is my favorite method, which is simpler. So you just copy URL. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to share this contact to my Android phone on the right side. I'm just going to click here. And I'm going to paste this. So you see, immediately you'll send a link to your participant. So your student can receive a link like this. So on my Android phone here, you can see a notification pop up. And there's a WhatsApp message that came in. So for the Android or the participant here now, all they need to do is just click into the hyperlink. There will be a pop-up asking how you want to open. Just select Zoom. And immediately for the participant, there's a listing here that shows one person in this section called waiting. So that is what waiting room means. So if let's say you have 10 students coming in, right, they will not straight away go into your call. They actually will sit in this place called the waiting room. And what you need to do is to actually press this button on admit in order for that student to get in. Ta-da! You see? Now we are in. You can see the bottom has the button that says call via device audio, right? That's the same thing as our computer. So remember to click it so that you're on. Oh, you can hear me twice. Let me just off the mic here. Yeah, so you can see the interface is pretty much the same for both both Android or iPhones. Sorry. Okay, so this now, what happened now is, sorry, accidentally stopped my video. So now you can see I'm teaching Zoom on computer while hosting a Zoom call using a left phone and a participant at the right phone. So now you can see three of me in the screen. Yeah, so this is just a quick example of how it roughly looks like. Yeah, I think we have a question. So the first few ones I'm going to take you through. So you can see on computer or on phone, right? Computer you will see actually a lot more controls at the bottom of your screen. On phone you probably see a little bit lesser here, which is just 5 buttons at the bottom. But they're actually pretty much the same. So I'm going to take you through some of these buttons that are pretty crucial so that you understand the functions and what you can really do with them. The first two is the most simple one, is our join audio or the audio or the mute button and our video button. So these two are the most straightforward ones. But what's more crucial for us as trainers, right, is actually the audio part, to sort out the audio part. So just to let you know, if you are teaching especially dance or exercise or Zumba classes or even yoga classes, you tend to actually have got music along with your class. So there's a more challenging part where you have to combine music with your own voice. So just take note, if you are doing that, what you can do, right, that best actually help to project your sound is if you go to your bottom screen or you go to the join audio, right, you can see there's a little arrow there that you can click for computer. So I'm just going to click that, or the mute audio. Right? If you try it yourself now, you can see that there's a menu that will pop up. And actually there's this option called the audio settings. So if you click into audio settings, I think all of you can see my audio settings now. So I'm just going to show you a few things that you should do that will help improve your sound quality in general. The first one, right, is this one at the microphone stage here. You can actually try to deselect this button called the automatically adjust volume. This one, just pick it off and try to increase that volume to as loud as possible. This will actually help to increase your mic volume to the maximum you can. Okay? Because if you were to select adjust automatically, what Zoom will do is it will decide how loud your microphone will be. So you will not be able to